tonight I'm thinking about pulling apart some of this, getting the engine out, transmission out, steering rack, front suspension, and then possibly pull the front subframe in, which I've already dragged out of the shed. And then I've got the rear subframe down here and the section of chassis, and I might offer it all up underneath the car this time and see what I need to start cutting from underneath. I've still got some material that needs removing from here. I might cut this lip back and weld it so then it's a bit more slimline going up into the car. I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. We'll see what I can achieve tonight. I wasn't going to plan on doing any of this until the weekend, but my weekend seems to be filling up pretty fast with other things. So let's see what I can get done tonight. Just going to get the turbo manifold out of the way. Track rod ends next. Next up, lower control arms. I like to do one side at a time. So now I've got to get down, get the prop out. Would you like to come down with me? Come on then. What I should have done is brought power tools home from work. Prop bearing next. Oh, butterfingers. Less haste, more pace, as my dad always used to say. That's alright when you've got all day. I'm going to take transmission off now, so it's easier to manoeuvre. Get out of the way. This will be set so I can get some more funds. There we go. So this column is micro column, and I just adapted the length of it to work with just the steering rack, but it isn't actually any justy parts there. So now I'm just going to get this bolt out, and then I can drop the rack right out. This is the front subframe that I'm going to be using. No, in fact, I'm not going to be using because it's bent. It has drop spindles. This is a project me and my friend were working on. He was trying to make billet ones, and it was my idea to make fabricated ones. So he designed these fabricated ones and got it all laser cut, but then I assembled it all into my own jigs, because after years of drifting MX-5s, I'd figured out the geometry that I wanted. So these are actually made to my own geometry, with a shorter steering arm, less Ackerman than what he designed, and an absolute ton of angle. To be honest, I think the Ackerman's almost like negative. It's almost the other way, like a lot more lock on the trailing wheel, but it always handled great. Now this subframe actually is bent. You can't really tell. See that mount's tucked right up under, and the subframe's bent there. Big old bulge here. I think that's maybe from getting too much curb at the track on a slammed car. BCs, they're looking a little bit worse for wear. And the steering rack is actually depowered, so all the ports are blocked. I've also taken the rack apart, removed the seals from the inside, and welded the check valve, because if you don't, you get like a tiny bit of play, which you can feel when you haven't got power assistance. So now I'm going to try and drag this under the car, and I have no idea how I'm going attempt to mock it up underneath the car, but I feel like I want to. Got an idea. Four and a half inch, which is probably close to the ride height, which I know is a bit lame, but I want to build a functional vehicle this time. Let's get the shocks out. Something else to point out, I've actually got a narrowed anti-roll bar. It's 35mm narrower than normal to give me more clearance on lock. And as you can see, the bushes are almost coming round the corner, coming round the bends at the end of the bar. And then I also scalloped out a bit of the arm for a bit of tyre clearance, and that was a bit gash. It was supposed to be temporary. It's actually like some chromoly tube or something in there, but it worked and it lasted many years, like from 2014 or something, 2013. I'm gonna go find some wheels now. So straight away, this is going to have to be cut out, but in terms of wheelbase, I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to stretch the wheelbase of the MX-5 by 35mm anyway, because the Micra's got a 35mm longer wheelbase, but also clearance to the A-pillar is going to be one of the things that I worry about the most. Because with the Justy setup, it was actually hitting here, so I actually stoved it back a bit and welded it. That's some angle. Decent. And then, I mean, these are really weak offset wheels, so that's why they rub. When it's got a more aggressive wheel on it, they won't rub the arms at all. I think I'm going to lower the stands, see where we are. Going to give the rear end the same treatment, I think. MX-5 subframes kind of mocked up underneath the car. Interesting. That's probably going to be it for tonight, I think. It's a bit late to start cutting. 20 to 10. I've got to get home and get washed up, have some tea or dinner. And I've got a lot to think about on this. So next step is to start cutting, I imagine. So let me know what you think about progress at the minute. Time to tidy up and go home. Gonna cut a lot of this bulkhead out, I reckon. Do I go tubular front? Maybe keep the rail for the wing to attach to and tube the rest of it. Let me know your thoughts.